And there are some different ways to make the call classifications. I said we have the pre-connect when we analyze the 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 SIP early media, the 181 and 183 to save money. But when we don't get the answer from the carrier, and or when the carrier just simply don't say doesn't say to us that we are going to have a voicemail as a result, for example, a customized voicemail or any other type of message, answering machine message or a noise or something like this, we are going to the post-connect analysis. And the post-connect analysis is very important to us as well, because in there, we are going to listen the first seconds of the call, up to the first 3 seconds. The biggest part of the case, we are not going to use the 3 seconds. We are going to use 1 second, 2 seconds, or a little bit more. So for this analysis after the call attendance, I mean on the post-connect, what we have here, we have the AI mechanism acting, because we are going to have the audio patterns. They are the same mechanisms that are used for from the Shazam application or the Google application or the Siri application. I mean, the audio recognition and the comparison to previous learnings got from the machine learning mechanism that we make. So the machine learning mechanism is not a legend that you have to avoid. No, we made it to make it simple, to let you by yourselves to make the machine learning and to release, to update the tool in order to get all of the new patterns that your new carriers or existing carriers can be changed, So the auditing recognize the audio patterns and segregate the clustering. So this is this part. So basically, the first step is to enable the auditing, and the auditing will recognize the first 3 seconds of thousands of calls, and will clusterize the types of the calls got. So your work is just going to listen not all of the calls on the same group, aggruppated on the same group, but just listing 1-2 calls of the specific group and say, okay, it was a voicemail. Let's classify each this specific pattern as a voicemail. This was, for example, an invalid number message. Let's classify this kind of call as invalid number message, and so on. So for each type of group, like 30 groups, 40 groups that usually the mechanism recognizes, you are going to say what is the call, and it will be reported over API to the ViciDial when ViciDial requests. So this is the mechanism, Sorry. And when you are going to have the update, you are going to have the neural network update as well. So the neural network is, we say, the global patterns, So we already have the previous learnings from the United States customers, for example. We already have the previous learnings for the US customers that we apply for the new customers. So it's getting smarter for each deployment that we make, and we have it for more than 50 countries already. So we have it for Pakistan, we have it for India, we have it for United Kingdom, we have it for Brazil, any Latin America country. You already have some countries in Europe, Asia, Australia. So we have it ready, So basically, we report the unproductive calls when the ViciDial asks for it. And when the ViciDial asks for it, we return over the API, and basically over the ViciDial interface, we are going to set up directly on there. If you have, for example, the same project, ViciDial, another dialer to migrate to ViciDial, we can do the same thing as well. But the way that we interact for the other dialers is over SIP, a little bit more complicated. On the ViciDial, you can make all of the steps of recognition directly on the ViciDial. It's the only partner that we allows to make it, and this is very important for us.
ViciDial basically sends a call to the Khomp gateway with a tracking header attached. The Khomp gateway forwards the call onto your carrier and begins doing its analysis on the pre-connect audio, basically normal ringing under normal circumstances, but also disconnects and all the various scenarios that Igor was mentioning previously. When the carrier finally does indicate that the call has answered, Khomp steps in and begins doing its post-connect analysis, which, as Igor mentioned, can take up to 3 seconds, but it cuts off at 3 seconds. As soon as Khomp has come up with a conclusion and a pattern, it sends the call over to the ViciDial server. ViciDial then takes the call and sends it into its routing engine, and in the routing engine, it connects over to the Khomp gateway via its API and pulls in the conclusion and pattern that was determined for that call based off of the tracking ID. ViciDial then does a lookup in its Khomp setting container to determine what to do with that conclusion and pattern. And it can take many actions based off of the different conclusions and patterns. It can either take the AMD action, it can take the CPD unknown action, it can route the call to the agent, it can disposition the call, multiple different things. And as some of those actions can be changed based on a per campaign basis. So that's basically how the integration is working at this point.
And there can be hundreds of responses that you can key these actions upon. That's important to mention, and they can grow over time.